You know, you have a friend that you feel like you know that the person doesn't like you, but your friend's like, yeah, they do like you. They kind of insist that you are
Sure.
Gaslighting you.
Yeah. Right.
She said, what?
How could they do something like that?
Are you serious?
What a thirsty MFer.
Not good. She's absolutely dead to me.
That's because she died.
I'm Sterling Mulberry.
And I'm Blair Payton, and welcome to
Bad Behavior, a morally questionable podcast
where two unqualified friends,
two unhinged comedians,
determine once and for all what is good
and what is bad.
Hello, and welcome to Bad Behavior. I'm Blair Payton.
And I'm Sterling Mulberry. In each episode of the podcast, a guest shares a morally questionable story, and we decide if they were in the right or the wrong.
Yes. Sorry, I was looking at my phone. I don't like to brag, but sometimes I get text messages. I'm so popular.
Blair.
I know. I can't help it. I thought I muted everything.
That's bad. You're addicted.
Everyone just wants a piece of me.
Oh, everyone wants a piece of you? Well, that's true. That's so true.
It's like our star is really ascending.
Do you think our star is rising?
I think so, because I noticed on Apple reviews, we now, instead of having 59 ratings, we have 60.
Whoa. Oh my God.
I don't know which number it falls in because it updates it sporadically, so I'm really hoping it's a 5-star, but we shall see.
Oh my God, our star is rising. I had no idea that we had gotten more review on Apple Podcasts. That is amazing. And you guys, if you haven't left a review, or you don't even have to say a thing, you could just give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and Spotify is also so helpful. That would be amazing because it actually makes a world of difference. But Blair, you said that there's been something on your mind.
So I'm back on the dating apps. So wah wah.
Okay, breaking news.
And it is terrible.
Oh, well, welcome to my world.
I am the type of person where if you're messaging me on a dating app, whether it be Bumble, Hinge, whatever,
sure,
I prefer that you not be sexually gross to me, unless I'm on Grindr, because that's the place for it. Otherwise, please don't bring that into the talking space.
Of course. We're always saying this. Our big slogan is don't be sexually gross to us.
Until I say, now I'm ready, do it. You know?
Totally. Yeah.
Because I had a gentleman, he messaged me on Saturday, and he said, hey, what are you up to? And, I was honest. I was like, I made some coffee with some pumpkin spice creamer, and I'm watching Vintage Saved by the Bell because I need to learn a lesson. And he was like, oh my gosh, I love that. Are you familiar with Pluto TV? And of course, I said, yes, the 24/7 Three's Company channel. Love it.
I feel like you're the only subscriber of Pluto TV, but I love that.
That's the funny thing. You don't even have to pay for it.
Whoa. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Okay, so I told him I love the Three's Company channel. I love sitcoms. They're like my family to me. To which he responded, I'm going to try and keep it family friendly because I know your mom listens.
Yeah.
He said, oh yeah, I love Three's Company. As a kid, I would...
blank. Beep.
pleasure myself to Jack Tripper. And that felt like he was talking about my own family member in a way that deeply disturbed me.
You're saying, yeah, don't do that to family.
So he may have just ruined his shot with the one and only Blair Payton.
Oh my God.
So I'm just saying, fellas, don't talk grossly about my sitcoms.
I hate it when people are being disturbing towards my favorite sitcoms. I'll be honest, that has never happened to me yet, and hopefully never. But I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Well, welcome to the scene. It is amazing out here. So much fun. And I can't wait to go on this journey with you.
Oh, same. I can't, especially around the holidays with it being cuffing season.
Yeah. Well, I think this is really good prime time right now. You know what I would love this year? What if we do this, Blair? You and me, we go to a snowy village and we try to plan our own Christmas rom-com.
Sure, but I also feel like there's a lot of preparation that goes into just changing a whole town for the holidays that I don't know if we can effectively pull off within the time allotted.
I think we can start to work on it. That would be so good.
Really? I think we need to start in July.
Then think about this. If we fall in love, say get engaged in a week at a Christmas town to different people, let's be clear. Yay! A Christmas miracle. That could be on one of the Christian channels. Scary.
Oh,
Anyways.
good.
But basically then we come to Hollywood. January, February, we come to Hollywood. We say, we have a true Christmas story to tell. They'll buy our scripts immediately because it's a true story.
Yeah, and we'll document it on TikTok.
It's the new TikTok series, How to Get Engaged in 7 Days in a Christmas Wonderland.
Or, hold on.
What?
It could be a brand tie-in where it's like TikTok till Christmas love.
Oh, that's so good. TikTok till Christmas. Okay, that's amazing. Perfect. Wow, I can't wait for this Christmas miracle. But before then, we have our own little miracle today. And that is that we have an absolutely fabulous guest on the podcast today. You know her from shows both in New York and now brand new to Los Angeles. She was in the Netflix Is a Joke Festival. Please welcome our guest today, Electra Telesford. Welcome to Bad Behavior, Electra. We're so happy to have you. We were just talking Los Angeles commutes. And if I remember correctly, how new are you to LA? Because you came from New York.
So it would be 2 months yesterday.
Oh, wow. You're fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh.
So wait, how are you liking it? Tells a story.
It's different from New York. There are like benefits and drawbacks. Like I like the weather's been pretty consistent. The traffic is horrible. Like it goes unexplained very often, and people drive insanely, just recklessly out here, even compared to New York. But there are less pedestrians, which is nice. So it's all give and take.
Do you find that you are starting to develop road rage, or has that yet to come?
Oh, and I always had a road rage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has it escalated?
No, I think it's actually been a little bit better here, like on the highway, like because it's just, I don't know, like I knew that traffic was bad here, but I think in New York, after the pandemic, the traffic got worse. So I think like that was like increased rage. And I think like the pedestrian thing was more of an issue in New York, or it's like, people were just flinging themselves into traffic practically,
Sure.
And cyclists.
Did you drive in New York?
Yeah, I did. I did drive in New York.
Did you hit a pedestrian?
No.
This is a crime podcast. We're trying to.
I just want to see if that rage is how brimming the rage is. Did you ever want to hit a pedestrian?
I will tell you something I did want to do. I always wanted to have, like, when I'm like super wealthy, have like a vehicle I can beat up and not feel bad, Be in like a traffic situation where you're like, oh, if this car was paid off, I would have let him hit me. You know what I mean? Like, that's my goal, really, is financial freedom for all of the wrong reasons.
So other than the traffic and the road rage, how have you found, I'd say, the comedy scene here? Because I feel like when I moved from New York here, I was like, whoa, I moved like 2 years ago and it still feels semi-new. That I'm like, oh, it's a very different vibe. But
it's very different. It's very I will say that, like, it feels like there's more room for experimenting. It feels like there are more multi-hyphenates in the Los Angeles comedy scene. People get up less here, but I think there's more work life or more balance in people's lives. I think that New York, the scene can be a bit how many times did you get up? Was it less than 7? You're a failure, So I think that there are benefits and drawbacks to both.
So what are you going to do to experiment? Are you dabbling with some new
clown? That's big,
like
here.
Clown makeup or?
Yeah, I check Groupon for mime classes every day that I can. No,
Fun fact: I did do mime.
Off of Groupon? Or just in general?
No, I did. It was like a church thing. We did religious mime. It was very embarrassing.
Oh.
So if you need tips, that's why I'm pulling that
religious mime? That sounds awful on Easter.
It was, and we did Easter. I was hung on the cross. I was Jesus, but in mime form.
So my friend used to be a mime. It's like a mime pocket. Is that what it is? Like you have a pocket where you take things out? That's what she taught me. She could have been teaching me absolute nonsense.
Well, I wasn't experienced. I kind of fell into the mime scene, and it was me as a 12-year-old and then a bunch of adults. So it was a very off-putting group, and we did it to a religious song about Jesus being hung on a cross. But 3 or 4 people cried that day, so...
Was it in your college application?
Oh, everywhere. Even with my current job now, it was in my cover letter.
Number 1.
I was like, I know how to communicate with my eyes. because I have a craft.
I do feel like the shows here, they are a little different. I saw you at an outdoor show at a wine bar at Bar Bandini, I think a few weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
So it's such a fun thing that, like, I feel like the shows are kind of like, because there is a little bit more space here, they can be at all types of things. And okay, going to the show, but kind of big reveal is I went to that show randomly on a date, if you can believe that. Would you ever go on a date to a comedy show?
I would never go. Like, you mean like go on a date, like have somebody come to my comedy show as I was on the show?
Oh, no. Like,
oh, okay.
Like,
people do that, and men do that all the time.
Really?
Men do that. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I would be a faint on stage, I think, if that happened to me.
Yeah, no.
No, I guess usually, obviously, I'm going to comedy shows either to perform or with my friends, or I'm seeing friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I just am like, to go to a comedy show, like you and a date, say, you are ripe to be ripped apart. You know, like you are like point shoot. The comedians are going to probably do something to you, you know?
I would not want to go to a comedy show for a date. That's like,
yeah.
I mean, I like to talk to people on dates. So I do, when I was thinking about the question, I realized it is kind of a good way of learning what somebody's sense of humor is, right? And also, but also potentially their politics, right? Like,
yeah,
take them to see Kill Tony, and then you can decide if you want to get married, right? But so in that regard, I do think it is kind of it is a good idea, but I wouldn't like that. I try not to pick on the audience just because it's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. You know what I mean? Like, how long you guys been together? And then hopefully they say it's their first date, and then hijinks will ensue. I don't you know?
Well, I would also be afraid that, like, what if it's the one night you talk to someone in the audience and then all of a sudden they are super, like, quick-witted and make you look stupid?
Oh, that happens. No, I've seen that. Oof, that is bad. When the audience member comes up with the laugh, that is, oh, you poor thing.
What happened to the comic that was performing when you saw that?
I think there's only two choices, and I think they made the right one, which was to just laugh, like give that person the moment, like they got it. But I know they had to be reeling, because that makes you
let the panic wash over. Yeah. Be like, excuse me.
Right. It's kind of like, because I'm a teacher during the day, and so like it would be kind of crazy to, like, when the kid roasts you, you just gotta have a lot of grace, you know, because if you get roasted by a kid, you lost the whole day.
Wait, how often are you getting roasted?
It depends on the school, you know.
Okay.
I feel like some schools have different culture of roasting. You know, a school I taught back in New York, there was a big roasting culture. You know, it's how we all bonded. But here, I don't think this is more of a green juice town. You know,
even the kids are
tapping
green
therapy
juice
and stuff. Yeah.
Whoa. Even in
yeah.
So I was going to ask you, Blair and I are not kind of running around with kids currently in our lives. What's going on with them? What is are we Gen Alpha, Gen Z still, or is it Gen Alpha and something below them? Where are we at?
I think we're at Gen Z. I think we're just at the Gen Alpha going into the higher grades. So yeah, we're Gen Z. What's going on with Gen Z, Gen Alpha? What's going on with them?
Yeah, what are they doing in schools? What should we be knowing about? Any like new words, tricks?
If you're on TikTok, you already got it. You know?
You got, okay.
Like, I think, yeah.
But see, right now I'm on tarot TikTok, so I'm just learning about what's coming in my future. So I don't know what's present.
Okay, fair. I didn't know there was a tarot TikTok, which is like super crazy to think about, because the algorithm is also filtering your future with these tarot.
So you're telling me it's not accurate tarot?
I think you're just determining your own future based off of what you keep swiping on.
I think you taught me something.
I'll do what I can.
So we have a game that we play on this podcast called Heaven or Hell, where we're going to present some various scenarios for you, and you're going to decide if they're heaven, hell, or if you're kind of indifferent, purgatory. So because you have your show, #Forever28, our topic of today is the age of 28. Now, Blair and I are no longer the age of 28. I guess
I don't even remember it.
28. We all can remember it fondly. And we're not so fond at all.
4 score ago.
I know. I want to say 28. I think going in, 28 was top top worst years of my life. I think 27, 28, not good.
So we're going in triggered.
We're going in triggered. Yeah, trigger warning. We're going in triggered. Okay, Blair, do you want to kick us off with the first one?
Watching the clock tick closer and closer to 30.
That was purgatory. Yeah, I didn't really feel anything until like the day before I turned 30.
Really? What did you feel?
I felt a panic attack.
Oh no!
I hadn't thought about it, and I was like,
Wow.
and
then
then
just
I
the day
remember
before.
like the day before, and then I was having a party on my 30th birthday. So I remember having like a real panic attack, and then the next day I turned 30, and it was no different. And I was like, oh, and then from there I never really cared too much about age after that, because I was like, oh, you don't really feel any different. It's just a day, you know.
Okay, your second one. Having half your friends getting engaged while the other half is getting dumped. Or you say that was not my experience at 28.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, my friends, I don't think any of my friends were really getting married at 28. I think one of my friends got married. One of my friends got married at 27, but after that, like nobody really got married until the last like 2 years, which I'm not going to say what age that is.
Okay, amazing. I just feel like at 28, it almost feels like just like a lot of paths were happening. Like some people were getting a dog, some people were doing this, and then some people were like, oh, I'm pivoting career, starting over right fresh. I mean, that kind of continues.
I think I was more thinking about the fact that even though I'm still teaching, I knew that I didn't want to teach forever. It was around that age because I had just finished my master's. And I was like, I don't want to do this till I'm like 60, you know? So I think I more was like career, starting to think about stand up at 28, but I didn't start stand up until later.
Oh, really?
How much later? We'll never know.
Oh,
no, I started. No.
Yeah, last night, the day before your 30th, when you were having your panic attack, was the night.
Going to Mike's and realizing all the other comics are 22 years old.
That's hell. That's hell.
Yeah.
I didn't experience that, but that sounds like hell. From the word open mic.
Okay, going down to just one roommate instead of 3.
I've never had that, but yeah, that sounds like that would be heaven.
You never had multiple roommates?
Only time I've had roommates were in college, and there was one at a time. And I was a terrible roommate. I was definitely the menace in the situation.
Really? What were you doing to him?
So one of them, I will say this, one of my friends, she's my best friend now to this day, but she was a ginger, and she used to leave her hair in the tub, and I was like be up late, and I would like wake her up, like, you need to get your hair out the tub.
Like, what do you mean? Like, would she wear a wig?
No, it's just
all over
like her hair would just shed in the tub, and I would be like super yucked out.
Was she okay health wise? That could have been a health.
No,
issue.
she just had really thick, beautiful like hair, but like in the tub.
Would you just throw it on her face? Be like, I think you left this in the tub.
She thanks me though. She thanks me to this day. She's like, thank you for that, because we were both only children who like never like lived with anybody. So, but I was like the more determined to like. Have things my way. So she's like, no, I appreciate it. Because then she, I think, eventually did have roommates, and she's like, yeah, that's just disgusting. That's why we integrated schools, for moments like that. It was a healing moment.
For moments like that. Exactly. So you can figure out hair hygiene, bathroom health, and that's good. That's good.
Instagram ads that start targeting you to buy frownies.
What are frownies?
I'm getting targeted all the time, and I'm disturbed. I can't believe people are doing this. Okay, so it's basically taping your face at night so that you don't get wrinkles at night.
That's awful.
Well, it's not so much a tape. It's more like an adhesive.
Yeah,
is it like a silicone thing that it's like almost like a silicone adhesive?
It looks like brown paper bag material, honestly.
Or like maybe like how you'd like tape an ankle almost, or something like that. You know,
but it hardens.
Like kinesthetic tape, like K-tape.
Almost. But then so it's like, I guess if you're dreaming and you're kind of like, I don't know, moving your face a lot in your dreams, then you can't. And so then I guess
crazy.
That's
because it gets hard, and then you have to like pick it off your head.
That's hell. That's hell. People are, especially Gen Z, like that's something I talk about in Forever 28, is just like they kind of miss out on their youth because they're so youth obsessed. It's like, just go live in that face, babe. Go live your life, because this is not, to me, it's just so absurd. So I think that's hell from the perspective of the person that uses it, but also that we're living in a society that like wants people to not use their faces.
My niece, who's 25, she gets Botox. I'm like, you don't need Botox.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
they're
we
saying,
kind of made this problem for them. I feel like millennials were so age obsessed. We kind of just like hoisted on them. Or did they hoist it on us?
I think it's I don't know. I think it might be both. Like, in the sense I think it's just like I don't know, like this preventative Botox thing was kind of sold, but I thought we kind of got to the point where people agree it doesn't work, because the way Botox does, it like isolates different muscles in your face. And so ones will end up getting more used because of the ones that are frozen in place. So it's actually not really proven to work. But if you want to send your niece that part of the podcast, I think that
I will. I'll send her that soundbite.
Yeah,
she'll still ignore me and still do it. My sister, who is in her 40s, she does Botox, and one time she said it hurt so bad that she was like, I had to stop mid procedure, and they were like, well, you can come back the next day. And like, she woke up and half of her face was drooping. And she was like, oh my God, I did this to myself. And I was like, did you take a picture? I would love to see it. She was like, no, I was crying in my bathroom.
Yeah, I know so many people do Botox. I mean, I think, to go back to the original thing, like we did push some of it on them, but I also think that like it's more of a consumer culture, and like skincare is such an easy, it's such a like a weird, not virtue signal, but like, oh, I can afford Drunk Elephant. It's like a flex for their friends at this point, Like I've seen, like students tell me what they want, and they want the same shit I want. I'm like, you want the same retinol as me? I'm like 20 years older than you. Like, I think we're...
Okay, our last one. Wondering if your career would be bigger if you lived in LA, but worrying you might lose your edge if you move there.
I never intended on coming to LA at all. I always said the thing a lot of comics say, like, I'll go when I have a job. It's like what most people say in New York. But I ended up getting into this like little industry showcase, and then I visited and I really liked it. So I kept coming back like maybe like every 2-3 months. And then from there, I figured that like I felt like I'd done a lot in New York, and I just needed to, and I'm from New York, and I always wanted to live someplace else. And so it just felt like go. It is hard to be edgy out here. Not that I think I'm particularly edgy, but it is a little tougher. I think New York is a bit more, a little more open around those types of things. You can kind of get away with a little bit more. I think.
Well, I think once you start incorporating mime, that's really going to give you the edge over a lot of people.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Slowly but surely.
We've come to the portion of the podcast where you have a story today, and it's a story in which it's hard to tell if you're in the right or the wrong, and Blair and I are etiquette experts and will help decide if you exhibited good or bad behavior. So whenever you're ready, you can launch on in.
A friend of mine was in town, right? And so we were supposed to grab dinner together, right? And when we met up, they were with another person. And then they decided that we would all grab dinner together. Mm-hmm. But the person doesn't like me. You have a friend that you feel like you know that the person doesn't like you, but your friend's like, yeah, no, they do like you. They kind of insist that you are...
Sure.
Gaslighting you.
Yeah. Right. Period. So I was like, okay, maybe this person does like me. And over the course of the evening of us like kind of hanging out before dinner, it became clear that this person like did not really like me, right? And so we were trying to figure out a place to go. I'm giving all these suggestions, like, oh, we should go here, we go here. They're like not really feeling any of my suggestions. So then I leave. I'm like, actually, I'm gonna go.
Okay, so wait, you're mid-suggestion. You're like, this is
I played it a little softer than that. I played it a little bit like, okay, you know what, you guys, I'm not even really that hungry. I'm just gonna head out. I was a bit upset with my friend because we had plans, and then it felt like I was being put into a compromised position because, we had plans. But then they were upset with me because I was upset with them. Now, this is where I might be in the wrong. I didn't speak to the person for a bit of time after that situation.
Can you give us an approximate a day, 2 weeks, 4 months, a year?
What day is it now? No, I'm just kidding. Right. I think it was about, so I told them how I felt about the situation, and then I didn't talk to them for about a month after.
Okay.
And then we kind of hashed everything out, and then it was kind of revealed that the person was mad at me because I abandoned the plans.
Well, can I ask you this? When you told this person how you felt, did you stay on the phone to listen how their rebuttal, or did you just hang up?
It was a voice note.
Oh, it was a voice note.
It was
okay.
a voice.
Ooh,
note.
okay.
It was a voice note. Because so I kind of left out a bit of information. So another piece of it was like I decided to not go to dinner, and then we had follow-up plans to go someplace else after. And the person went to dinner, and they never hit me up after. Like I hit them up. I was like, "Oh, just like message me when you guys are done, right? I will continue the evening." They never messaged me until like maybe like 2 a.m, and we had left each other around like 9. So then from there, I was like, the voice note. Because I thought it was really uncool that, okay, obviously I'm going to forego this part of the plan that was originally like our plan. And I'm just going to, catch you later. And then the person never hit me up. One more piece of information. The person that does not like me is a bit more like of a higher status in our field.
Totally.
So I felt like it was kind of like, if this was anybody else, you would not have done this. But at the same time, I did maybe not talk to the person for maybe a bit longer than I should have.
Sure.
Okay.
But I like to be productive in the conversations I have with people. Mm-hmm. And I didn't feel like it was going to be productive.
Wait, the voice memo you sent, was that at 2 a.m.?
That was, yeah, but we're all late night people. So it wasn't like,
okay.
And it wasn't crazy.
So that's actually 8 p.m. their time.
Yeah, that's like 4 p.m. comedy time.
Okay, got it. Okay.
It's normal. This is normal.
Okay.
Yeah. But, and the voice note wasn't anything crazy. It was just like, I just feel like that was not cool.
Okay, wait, before we launch into more questions, are there any more tidbits of information?
I do tell stories out of order. I am not a story.
No, I love it. We're kind of on the edge of it's good because in our heads we can be like, oh, it's the one there. Oh, you just got a new piece of information. We love that.
It was a voice memo?
But that's pretty much all
it's a voice memo at 2 a.m., but it's actually 4 p.m. their time. Okay. Okay, so for my own head, for my own picture I'm painting in my head, to me, this is what the scenario was, but please paint a different picture. Mm-hmm. You guys all met up, I want to say this, on a street corner to decide where you're going to dinner. What was like the
where was the meetup location?
Because you said we're meeting up to go to dinner, but you're deciding in the moment where you're going to dinner. So
okay, so we were at a like a music venue.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And when you arrive, it's the two of them, and you were unaware that that other person would be there.
Was going to be there, yeah.
Okay, and then at the music venue, you're like, we're getting dinner, and to your friend, and they're like, we're actually all getting dinner, and then that's when the dinner plans are being hashed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably spent a couple hours with them before you left, or an hour, or how long?
I was there for like about an hour.
Now, is your friend who is friends with this person that doesn't like you? Are they close with this person, or do you think they were using as a tactic to like get ahead?
Yeah, they're not close. No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like this person's like really dear friend to me, and they're like friends. Like they're friends, like me, like, hey girl, hey, occasional text messages, but not like crazy close.
Now, was it a situation in which like the dinner plans were being talked about in front of, I'm going to call them for now, the famous friend? The famous friend that's your enemy.
So when I came in, my friend told me that this person was also hungry and wanted to go, so we can all go. And I was like, that person, I don't think cares for me. Maybe I was of the mind that they weren't aware that like I was a part of that plan. And then they assured me that like, that they're aware that you were coming too. Like that so I was like, okay, cool. As long as that person's aware.
How were they acting towards you? Was it kind of like, like, like that noise? Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. I think like we were like, hey.
Yeah.
And then we were all kind of deciding like where to go, like kind of throwing around suggestions, and then not acknowledging any of the suggestions that I made, having like just pleasant side, because there were other people there too, like slide conversation, And then like I interject in this conversation that feels like a group conversation, but like my part in it does not get acknowledged. And there's only so much of that I can
Sure.
do.
Well,
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go.
now with this person who we'll just say sucks. With this person, what was the eye contact like? Were they like when you would talk? Were they just kind of like
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
okay,
like no, not making eye contact. So I'm like looking like this, and they're like,
Mhm.
or like,
because I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
I've been in this situation. I've been your friend where I like to invite everyone out to eat, and then
Mhm.
sometimes I'll be like, oh shit, they don't like each other. But I am that person who is like, oh, no. They totally like you, just to kind of make everyone feel. So I've been your friend before. So it's just interesting hearing it from the other side.
Now, how many times would you say you and this, I'll call them the frenemy, have interacted like in life?
A few times, and it's always been a bit hit or miss. Like there's been situations I'm like, oh, I think this person does like me. And then there's been situations like, I don't think this person likes me. But I got some more insight into the person. And apparently they're just like this with everybody.
And that is a
But I didn't know that at the
classic.
time of this scenario. I didn't know that at the time. I did not know this until
Okay.
recently.
Well, that's gotta hurt because I mean, on the one hand, like they're being mean to you, but it's got to make you feel special because it's like, oh, it's just me. But now,
She's
no,
like-
it's everyone.
No, she's just a
First of all, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened.
I know. I'm like, oh, but I want you to dislike me, not everybody.
Okay, so your dislike from them really sprung from some of these interactions in which, like, I guess order of operations, you felt like they didn't like you and therefore you didn't like them. There wasn't a scenario in which you kind of were a little rude or not even rude, but like that, like something sparked them not liking you. It was just like inherently you.
No. I also like didn't dislike them until it became very. I'm not really a sometimey person. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty consistent, and I feel like it's very difficult to know. Should I say hi to you? Should I not say hi to you? And so when I start to feel like that, I'm just not going to say anything because there's nothing worse than a hello that just gets ignored.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in this scene, like when people see that in the scene, no thanks. Becomes a story in a group chat. No thanks.
When that's happened to you, do you ever do? Because that's happened to me plenty of times, and I find myself looking to a camera that's not there. Do you ever do that?
Yeah.
Like in a TV show where someone ignores your hand and you just kind of look at the camera, like in The Office. I find myself doing that, which is even worse.
Whoa.
So if someone catches you doing a scene,
There's no camera to look at anymore.
That's so funny. Well, this is so basically the conundrum we have today, Blair, is I guess what we had to decide, Blair, if we're going more of is it okay to bail, I guess, on plans because your friend is bringing someone you did not know was going to be part of those plans, or are we going to do it that is it okay to not speak to a friend for a month because they brought someone that you didn't want to be at a plan? Which one do you want to do? Or we can do both together. But you know,
well,
what I'm saying?
I think it kind of goes hand in hand. Oh, she doesn't want to hear the judgment. She's leaving. She's like, no, I don't like where this is heading.
Sorry, my headphones died.
Oh, it's all right. So, real quickly, just refresh my memory. When you sent the voice memo, did your friend respond back or no? You just didn't talk.
She did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you say what she said?
Lost track of time.
Okay. So she was being kind of evasive.
Yeah, lost track of time, which I was like, you begin to know people's phone habits because there are some people in which that's like very believable. It's like, oh yeah, like but this was not she's not one of those people. It's like,
yeah,
girl, I saw your story updating. I mean, we really need to get it together.
Yeah. Okay. I think I know where.
You started us off, Blair.
Okay, great. So as someone, well, first of all, I love bailing on plans. I am that friend. If I see a window, I will bail. This is just an aside because I feel like I want you to know me better, as the person judging you. But I just love canceling plans, getting Taco Bell, and watching Grace and Frankie actually is on my TV right now. So I'm a particular type of homosexual. But I will say, I think this is good behavior because as someone who has had therapy for over a year and a half, so I know a lot now. I'm very well versed in communications with other people, especially people that suck. So you have to put up a boundary. And you were lied to by a friend. It was just going to be y'all. And then this person shows up and you don't even like this person. And then they were being kind of cruddy. You don't want to ruin the rest of your night. You don't want to, you don't want to be around that the whole night and fake it. Faking it's hard. You get older and you're just like, no, I don't need to put myself in that scenario. So I'm saying good behavior. And even with like not talking to your friend, I think I still think that's kind of fine because you eventually worked it out. And also, too, it's like, it's better to say something, not say something, than say something you regret. You know, you said how you felt, and then you're just like, however the chips fall, that the bowl will pick it up. I don't know what the saying is, but you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying good behavior. I'm all for it.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, I think I'm also going to go good behavior today. It is a very like, I'm kind of like wowed by you doing that. That's amazing. I'm like, I don't know if me in the moment has the gumption yet to be like, I'm not enjoying this experience. I'm going to head out. This wasn't the experience I kind of signed up for tonight. And you're supposed to be kind of my number one and you're being a little bit social climby or career climby per se. You removed yourself from a situation, which like maybe you wouldn't personally have been having a good time and maybe you wouldn't have been as pleasant to be around with those people because you were just in a bad mood. So you're like, okay, if you guys want to go do that, fine. So I think I'm going to go good behavior and then you're able to work it out kind of. And it's a tricky scenario because especially in the career we're in, sometimes you're like, oh, I guess I shouldn't be hanging out with these people because whatever they can get me. I don't know. So it can be a little tricky. So I'm glad you and your friend ultimately worked it out. So that's the best behavior of all is friendship. Make it Okay, so you have officially been deemed good behavior. Oh, I'm putting a crown on your head. Gorgeous. Now, we know it can be really intimidating coming up with acceptance speeches on the spot when you're deemed with such a incredible award like a behavior. So we do have a little acceptance speech that we've written for you today that we'll have you read aloud.
Wow, thank you so much. I can't believe I moved to Hollywood so recently and I'm already receiving awards. The only award I ever received in New York was Person Who Killed the Most Spotted Lanterns in the Summer of 2003 award, which I was thrilled to receive, but didn't do anything for my comedy career. Anyways, thanks for this award, and now on to the Emmys.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, well, congratulations. Huge award. Before we wrap up today, can you tell listeners where they can follow, find you, and if you have any upcoming shows to plug?
You can find me on Instagram at Electra_Telesford. My website, sign up for my mailing list, www.electratelesford.com for more Forever 28 information.
And that's our show. Thanks so much for listening today.
We absolutely hate to do this. We hate it.
But it would mean the world to us if you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts, rate and review.
Follow us at Bad Behavior NYC on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks again for listening.
And remember, whatever your moral status, we are always here to judge. Bye. Do you think that was good?